A group of student loan borrowers are apparently preparing to boycott or picket outside of the Supreme Court, basically make their presence felt in anticipation of this coming showdown on the future of Biden's student debt cancellation. They say they, quote, want to make sure that the justices look into the eyes of borrowers, which I think is an admirable goal. And they should do it. They should definitely do it. As many people as possible should show up, and you should help to amplify and signal boost what they're doing. My prediction would be that they will not get what they want in terms of the justices actually looking them in the eye. We're peasants. We're nothing to these justices. They don't care about us. They're not interested in our well-being. They're ideologues like any right-wing pundit, any elected official. It's the exact same thing. They just wear different clothes. That's all it is. That doesn't mean that for sure the Supreme Court is going to destroy this thing, and we want to prepare you for how the process will unfold. But first, Max Lubin is the CEO and co-founder of Rise, which is a student and youth-led group trying to make higher education free for all, says, I think that when people see who is impacted, if they themselves are not, they start to understand that this is about fairness and this is about opportunity and not ruining someone's life with decades of unpayable debt just because you're trying to earn an education. And we're reaching like the big week on this, because on the 28th of February, the Supreme Court is going to be hearing two different cases that are seeking to utterly destroy this entire cancellation plan. You have the first, Nebraska v. Biden, brought by 6 conservative state attorneys general that say the Biden administration is overstepping its authority. The second was brought by a conservative advocacy group for 2 individuals, one who does not qualify for the forgiveness plan, and one who does not qualify for $20,000, like the full amount that some will be eligible for. And there are massive problems at the ground floor on both of these cases. The first being that the argument the attorneys general are making is that because some people might be incentivized to refinance their loans under something that would not generate tax revenue for the state, ipso facto, the states might lose money, maybe in some cases. But as bad as that is, the other one, a person who doesn't qualify, well, if I don't qualify, then I will burn the world to ash. Tens of millions should be burdened by student debt cancellation because I can't get it. But even that person, I think, holds a position of moral superiority to the person who qualifies for some, but not all of it, and says, well, thus, nobody should get anything. I mean, these are, look, I don't know these people. I don't know their psychology. My guess would be they want a life in right-wing politics, which is why they're willing to do this. But they're going to be hearing both of these, and we've got 6 insane radical ideologues on the Supreme Court who might be willing to destroy this thing, regardless of how blatantly legal it is. Rayyvana, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right that these are people who want careers in right-wing politics. You know, these organizations choose their plaintiffs really carefully in their cases. I will say that I think appealing to I like the argument that looking someone in the face who is going through a struggle might help you realize that there is a victim of this and empathize with them for a real human being. But I don't see the Supreme Court justices as human beings. They're the 9 unelected wizards that get to decide everything that happens to us in our country. And they are, 6 of them at least, are just puppets of the Federalist Society. And I mean, appealing to a judge's emotions can work sometimes, but I mean, I had a client who had to crawl up and down the stairs. This was a 12-year-old boy, had to crawl up and down the stairs at his school because he was a wheelchair user and they had no elevator. The judge cried while he was giving his testimony and then ruled against us. So I mean, really anything can happen, but wow. I am, even as a student debt holder, I would qualify for the $20,000 forgiveness. I have $100,000 in student loan debts. I'm about to graduate in May. It's super concerning, but I don't have high hopes for this. I think that the Supreme Court is going to do whatever the Federalist Society tells them to do. It says dance, they dance. It says jump, they say how high. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. But I would taper your expectations if you are hoping for them to rule for the loan holders.
We're gonna have to see. The Biden lawyers are saying that in both cases, the challenges don't have sufficient standing to claim an actual like financial injury as a result of this. But that's all like legalese.
Yeah, I mean,
that's like a weapon you would use if the battlefield was an honest, intellectually like an honest argument about the merits. Well, no, I think that Amy Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh are gonna be like, they're gonna be like in an old library, like when Gandalf goes to Gondor to find out about the ring. And they're gonna be like going through dusty tomes and like, what is it exactly? That's probably what's gonna happen.
But the Biden administration is 100% right, in my opinion. They have no standing, but standing doesn't exist anymore. The Supreme Court ruled on a case. Yeah, I mean, they ruled in favor of on a case of like in industries when it comes to the environment about a hypothetical theoretical law that could be passed years and years in the future, which shouldn't make them have standing, but they said to damn with precedent, to damn with standing, we'll do whatever you want.
100%. And by the way, this was always a possibility, especially with the dire state of the Supreme Court, but Biden was right to do it anyway. Advocate and fight for the people. And if the other side wants to be utter demons, then let them. And if the Supreme Court knocks this down, you make sure there isn't a person in this country that doesn't know that they did it, why they did it, who put them on the Supreme Court, and who's trying to become president again to put more utter ghouls and troglodytes on the Supreme Court just like them. And then you do executive orders and executive actions to do whatever it is that you can to help people, and let them fight against that too. Fight on this battlefield where you are advocating for the people and actually trying to solve their problems, while the other side is trying to keep them burdened by debt for the rest of their lives. It sucks that we're in this position, but if we are in this position, and we are, at the very least, prove that you can be the warrior we need.
If that student debt plan by Biden had been universal and erased all student loan debt, that second lawsuit would be moot, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. They would have no argument there if it was given to everyone. So thanks, Biden.
Well, you'd still have the attorneys general, and then you'd probably have someone who was like, but I didn't go to college because there was possibly debt. And they'd be like, yes, I understand that. I understand the world is not perfectly fair. Thank you for letting us know that. And I will remind people, as I have, back into the years where we were advocating for this to happen. I had student loan debt. I wasn't burdened by as much, perhaps, as like Rayyvana right here. But I had, I don't know, $35,000, $40,000 of student loan debt. I went to UConn. It's not that expensive. And what I did is, as soon as I could, I started paying off literally every cent that I could. I lived like a hermit's life for years just to pay it off. Don't do that, by the way, financially. It was a bad idea. I should have invested the money instead. I don't have any student loan debt, and I haven't had student loan debt for years. I still desperately want everyone else who can be relieved of it to be relieved of it, and that is the only rational way to approach this.